Hello everybody, welcome back to our channel. I hope that you guys are having an amazing day today. In today's video, I am really excited to finally show you the brand new ABH Norvina Volume 4 palette. So in today's video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be swatching the entire palette on my eyes, and I did also purchase the brand new cake liners that they released, so I will be doing eye swatches of the liners as well. And this is what the palette looks like on the inside. It is a beautiful palette. It comes with 25 eyeshadows, and it is a combination of mattes, shimmers, and glitters. So yeah, if you guys want to see swatches of the entire palette on my eyes and you want to see the swatches of the cake liners, then just keep on watching. Kissing you with my eyes open, but you said I'm gonna go in with my finger for this one and see if it applies a little bit more intense. Oh, there. Okay, that's better. Keep them closed and be in the moment. So I did. Okay, so A1, definitely it's an eyeshadow that just looks better applied with the finger. It looked really pretty with the brush as well, but with the finger it just really pops. So this is A1, and it's a beautiful metallic shade. You guys saw how it applied with the brush. It was still really pretty, but just more subtle, and with your finger it just looks, you know, a lot more intense. So I like it both ways. Let's move on to A2. So I'm gonna apply A2 with the brush first so that you guys can see what that looks like. And this one is a different formula. This one is a dual chrome pressed pigment, so it's not metallic like the first one. I did my best to make you feel wanted. And it is beautiful, beautiful. Let me go in with my finger. Let's see if it makes a difference. All right, so here is A2, and I am living for this color. It's one of those eyeshadows that gives that like wet eyeshadow look. It is so beautiful, and I love the way that the light reflects off of this color. This one, it doesn't do that as much, like it's not as magical, but this one, it's just magical. I love this one. Okay, anyway, let's move on to the next two. So here is A3. It is a beautiful color. I do think the color goes really well with the theme of this volume 4 palette, but I do feel like I've seen this color in one or two of the previous Norvina volume palettes. This one is also a pressed pigment, just like the previous one was. So if you guys get reactions from pressed pigments, it might be something that you want to stay away from. But anyway, I'm gonna go to the next one, which is another matte, and I feel like this one is gonna be more of a transition color. Okay, this is actually a beautiful transition color, and honestly I would apply this just on the lid. Yeah, I really love this color. It is beautiful. It's just such like a clean, soft brown. I love this color so much. Yeah, this is beautiful. Okay, so here is A4. This is just like the first one, where it's very subtle applied with the brush. Okay, I'm gonna go in with my finger because I feel like I'm not getting a lot of payoff with the brush. that is really beautiful. It's like that wet metallic shimmery look. It is beautiful, and honestly the camera is not doing this shade any justice, because it, even though it's gold, it does have pink micro glitter in it, and it reflects the light beautifully. Hopefully you guys can see it on camera. I'm not sure that you can, but it is a beautiful, beautiful color. All right, moving on to B1. This one, it says that it's a metallic golden sand.
Everything I believed in, but you said shut it off, you're too old for dreaming.
All right, moving on to B2, which is a matte, and this is also going to be a pressed pigment.
So I did my best to feel what you're feeling.
I have to tell you, I really like this color. It is a color that I have not seen in any of the other Norvina palettes, and I am in love. It is like the perfect pink, red, rose color. It is beautiful. It's a little bit sad that it's a pressed pigment, because you know, for those of you that get a reaction, and honestly for me, I get a reaction now from pressed pigments. I never used to, but the longer that I apply them and like wear them on my eyes, the faster I start to get a reaction. I feel like I used to be able to wear it without any reaction. Now after a few hours I start to feel like very itchy, and then when I take off the pressed pigment I end up either like very stained and red and just swollen the next day. So that kind of sucks, but if you guys don't get any reactions from pressed pigments, then you're good to go. But it is a beautiful, beautiful color. Honestly, you guys, so far I think this is my favorite matte from the palette. I mean, I think we only swatched 3 mattes, but I love how unique and beautiful this color is. Okay, let's move on to the next one, which is B3, and I believe B3 is also, yes, it's also going to be a pressed pigment. Again, this is also a pressed pigment. And remember, I don't have any primer when I am swatching any of these, so when you do get the palette home and you apply your primer, these are going to be more intense than what they look like now. Okay, here is B3. It is another beautiful, beautiful color. I love it. I think it's going to make a perfect transition lid color. Anyway, here are these 2 mattes. Okay, this is what it looks like just with the brush. I am going to apply it with my finger now. Alright, so here is this one, and you guys saw what it looked like with the brush and then when I applied it with my finger. I think it looks beautiful both ways, but of course with applied with the finger, it's a lot more intense. And if you guys have a silicone brush, you can use this as well. This will save a lot of time. This one is from Morphe, and I love the way that this one is shaped, because you can really get like in the inner corner, and you can really just have control of where you want to apply the eyeshadow. And if you apply these types of eyeshadows with the silicone brush, you will get the same intensity that you would get if you're applying it with your finger. I'm not using this one today just because I don't think it would be fair to those of you that don't have a silicone brush, but I just wanted to tell you that if you do have one, definitely use it for these types of eyeshadows. Okay, so this next one, B5, is also a pressed pigment. It looks brown to me, but it's described on their website as a cool gray with a pink undertone. Okay, and here is B5, and honestly it is beautiful. Again, this one is described as a cool gray with a pink undertone, and I think it's beautiful. I love colors like this for a transition color, for an all over lid color. I just think it's so beautiful. But anyway, here is B5, and then we have B4. Okay, this is pretty, but again, subtle, so I'm gonna go in with my finger. It made a little bit of a difference. Let's apply a little bit of Fix Plus, even though I said I wasn't going to. I'm curious to see if the Fix Plus will make this a little bit more stunning. I think we're starting to see a theme here. A lot of these shimmers definitely need to be applied with either a silicone brush or your finger, or just go over it with Fix Plus if you want a more intense look. But if you are okay with just a subtle shimmer, then brush is perfect. But this is a really pretty color. It's like a pink metallic shade, just like it says that it is. It does remind me of a few colors from the previous Norvina palettes, but it is a pretty color and it does tie in well with the theme of this particular palette. So now we're gonna move on to C2, which is a matte and also a pressed pigment.
Sometimes I start to wonder if I should change my mind.
Here is this one, and it is beautiful, but it says that it's blue. To me it looks more purple, but it is a beautiful dual chrome eyeshadow. Very, very pretty. And yeah, I guess when the light reflects it, you can see like little specks of blue in with the purple. It's really pretty. I love it, and it doesn't remind me of any other ones from any of the other Norvina palettes, which is good. But yeah, I like it. Let's move on to the next one. All right, now we're moving on to C4, which is a matte. It's also a pressed pigment. This color is gorgeous. I love purples, but give me like a lavender pastel purple and I'm in love. This is a true lavender and it's swatched beautifully. It just went on really evenly. I didn't have to dip my brush too much to get this much pigment out of the eyeshadow, and yeah, I am in love with not just the color but the way that it's swatched and how even it looks. It just looks beautiful. But anyway, these are these two colors, and yeah, I don't know, I like it. These two together are going to look beautiful, like in an eyeshadow look. Look at how well they complement each other. Okay, let's move on. All right, now we're moving on to C5, which is a color that I haven't seen in any of the other Norvina palettes that I remember. So let's see. All right, here is C5, and I love it. I don't think I have a color like this in my collection, and definitely I don't remember swatching anything that looks like this in any of the previous Norvina palettes. This one is also a pressed pigment, but yeah, I like this color. And again, this is another matte. Actually, all of the mattes in this palette have swatched beautifully, very evenly, very creamy, and a lot, like, you get huge color payoff right away. And remember, we're not wearing any primer, so far so good. So here is D1, and it is a very pretty color, very subtle. I feel like it would be perfect as a transition color, or even for an all over lid color for those days where you don't want to wear a lot of makeup. But anyway, let's move on. Alright, moving on to D2, which is another pressed pigment, and this is considered a matte electric yellow. This one is not as intense as I thought it was gonna be. Let me try a different brush and see if maybe it's the brush. Okay, here is D2, and it is described as a electric yellow, but to me it looks a lot more subtle than an electric yellow, so I'm a little bit disappointed at the way that it's swatching. But remember, you guys, it is without primer, so maybe once we have primer on it might look more vibrant. Yeah, anyway, moving on. Okay, this one is a metallic amber, it says. And this one is not a pressed pigment, which is the first non-pressed pigment in a while. Okay, I am actually living for this color and this formula. Look at like that wet eyeshadow look. I live for these new formulas. It is beautiful. Okay, so here is D4. This one is supposed to be a dual chrome, but it's not as intense or shimmery as the other dual chrome. I can see the little bits of micro glitter in it, but yeah, to me it looks more of like a shimmer eyeshadow and not so much a dual chrome. Okay, let's move on to the last one in row D. So here is D5, and I have to say this is another one of my favorites from the mattes from this particular palette. It's beautiful. It's like that burnt orange cinnamon color. It is beautiful, and again, you guys can see it's swatched really nicely, very evenly, very creamy. So yeah, anyway, these are these two. Alright, moving on to E1, it's going to be another pressed pigment, and this one is described as carnation pink. Alright, so this next one is a white glitter, I guess. White, clear, I don't know. It looks like this guy right here. So I'm just gonna go in with the brush, although normally I would like to apply this one with the silicone brush, but I'm gonna use the brush. Oh, that's really pretty. So it looks like it has green, yellow, maybe orange or pink micro glitter. Hopefully you guys can see this. But this is beautiful. I hope you guys can see this on camera. It is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. And the glitter formula is great. You don't need glitter glue to apply this formula. Like, this is not going anywhere. It is beautiful. It looks pretty just by itself, which I didn't think it was going to do. I thought for sure this was just gonna be a dud just because of the way that it looked in the pan. But it is beautiful. It looks beautiful by itself, and this is the type of glitter that you can also apply like over any eyeshadow and it will look just gorgeous. So I love this glitter. Okay, let's move on to the next one, which is also a glitter. Okay, I hope you guys can see this really well on your screens because it is beautiful. So in the pan it looks completely just pink, but when you look at it close, it actually has these like lilac, I don't even know if they're lilac, they're like, yeah, I guess like purple lilac glitter in there with the pink, and the way the light hits it is just beautiful. You guys know I love glitter. I'm so sorry my extension keeps like popping up, but I love this glitter so much. Yeah, I love how they added that lilac glitter in there to go with this pink. It looks beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the last two, but just to give you guys a heads up, both of these are pressed pigments. So okay, here is E4. Again, swatched beautifully, very even. The color payoff is amazing, especially because we're not using eyeshadow primer. You know what I just noticed? That I'm wearing a rose shirt, and the colors of this have matched a lot of the colors in the palette. But anyway, this is a really pretty color, and I feel like it's going to pair really well with a lot of the other like rose colors from the palette. So yeah, I like it. It's definitely in theme with the palette. And let's move on to the last one.
I start to wonder if I should change my mind. But when I think back to you, I feel the same every time.
Alright, so this is the last color in the palette. It is a beautiful pink. Again, this is another matte eyeshadow from this particular palette that went on evenly, very opaque, and just beautiful. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this off, and we can go ahead and move on to the liners. I'm gonna start off with this one. This is the orange, the white, and the purple. So they come like this in like a little stack, and then they open like that, which is really cool. So they open like that, and then the top one, you just plop it open and it has a little mirror right on the top. So these don't smell. The other day that I opened them, they had a weird smell. Okay. So I don't know why. These do not smell at all. This particular set, the yellow one really stinks. The green one really stinks. Yeah, all of these smell. All of these smell really bad. I don't know why. These don't smell at all. So I don't know if there's like a different ingredient in these guys that made them a little stinky, but these don't have any smell whatsoever. Yeah, I really don't smell anything here, but these stink. Okay, we're gonna start off with the other set. I don't know if I can use the little mirror to do this with. I might have to take my eyelashes off. It's really hard to do eyeliner with eyelashes. All right. Here is the first color, and I have to say I find them really creamy, and they are a lot easier to apply than the Suva Beauty ones. When I applied the Suva Beauty ones in my, I think it was 2 videos ago, in one of the eyeshadow looks, I felt like the liner started to kind of crack right away, but with this one I don't see any cracking, and it definitely feels a lot smoother. But anyway, I am gonna zoom you in a little bit more, and I'm gonna do the purple, actually I'm gonna do the white one on this eye so that you guys can see the formula in action, and you guys can see for yourself like what I mean and how creamy the formula is. I'm making it thicker just because Lady Gaga just did this in her video, and she did a really thick winged white eyeliner, so that's what I'm trying to go for here. But I love these liners 100%. These are so much better than the Suva Beauty ones, and I'm not trying to like talk bad about another company, but I'm just being honest. These are a lot better formula. Alright, so I'm looking pretty rough right now because my makeup is literally coming off. So I'm actually gonna stay with this close-up and just move on to the next couple of colors. Okay, so we're moving on to the purple one, which is the last one in this set.
I was kissing you with my eyes open, but you said keep them closed and be in the moment. So I did my best to make you feel wanted. But what about what I want? What about what I want? And what I wanted was to cry.
And there we go. Yeah, 100%, you guys. If you are trying to decide between like Suva Beauty or any other liners that are water activated, 100% I say go for the ABH ones. They are extremely creamy and just so much easier to work with, very opaque. So far so good. So this is a purple one, and that's the last of the trio. So I'm gonna move on to the next trio, which is the one that stinks a little bit, but let's keep going. So moving on to the next set, I'm gonna start off with the orange like pink one. Okay, and here is this color. Yeah, these are honestly, you guys, amazing. So much better than any other water activated liner that I have tried. I know my winged liner is not the best, but I'm just doing this to show you guys the colors. All right, moving on to the next color. I can't get all of this off, but anyway. So here is the electric yellow. I love it, and my eyelash is all messed up, so this area right here looks a little bit weird, but yeah, it's just as beautiful and opaque and as easy to apply as the other ones. So now I'm gonna take this one off and move on to the electric green.
You said shut it off, you're too old for dreaming. So I did my best to feel what you're feeling. But what about what I want? What about what I want? Cause what I wanted was to laugh at the way you laugh at the way I laugh, but instead you were moody and you wanted me to be.
Alright, so this is the last one of that last little trio, and I know my wings are not perfect. I know my eyelash makeup, they're a big mess, but I just wanted to show you guys the colors of these liners, and I really just wanted to test them out to see if the formula was good, if the colors were, you know, pretty. So anyway, this is the last one. I'm gonna go take it off, and then I will be right back to give you guys my final thoughts. So I just tried to clean up as best as I could, but yeah, we went through a lot today. So anyway, as far as the palette goes, do I recommend it or not? I 100% recommend it. I think it is a beautiful palette compared to the previous 3 Norvina palettes. This one is totally different. The hot pinks are a little bit similar to some of the other hot pinks from the other Norvina palettes, but that's really the only colors that I found to be close in color to the other Norvina palettes. A lot of the colors from this palette I found to be very unique, especially like the pink red ones and the glitters, the soft like gray brown ones. I don't know, I think it's just a beautiful palette. I love it so much. It's such a soft, just, I don't know, I love this palette so much. And I do love how she incorporated like the pop of the electric yellow and the pop of the hot pink. I love the palette, and it swatched beautifully. It went like, it was so opaque. The mattes went on super evenly and just very creamy. So again, I don't know if the formula changed in this palette, but I do feel like out of all the palettes that I've swatched, and I've swatched them all, of the Norvina palettes, this one definitely swatched the best. I don't know why that is, but I feel like it just swatched the best out of all of the other Norvina palettes. So yeah, I 100% recommend it. If you guys like these types of colors, I say go for it. I love it. I'm so glad that I got it. Honestly, I got the palette because I wanted to do the video for you guys, and I wanted to do the swatches for you guys. I wasn't too excited about the palette, but now that I have it, I love it, and I'm really excited to create some looks with it. I will be doing another video with the palette, creating a few looks with this palette so that you guys can get some inspiration for some eyeshadow looks. And anyway, moving on to the liners, I think they are amazing, and honestly they are the best water activated liners that I have personally tried. So if you're looking for like amazing water activated liners, give these a try first, especially if you haven't tried any other ones. Go for these, because I've tried the other ones and the other ones crack. They are not as smooth or as creamy, so when you try to create your straight line, it just looks very like jagged, and I don't know, I found the other water activated liners hard to work with. I haven't tried them all, but the ones that I have tried, I didn't find them to be the best. Like, I didn't find them to be that great, but these I love. They were really opaque, very creamy, very easy to work with, and I love them. I love the colors, I love the packaging. And yeah, these don't smell. These are a little bit stinky, but it's not a big deal. Once you apply them, they don't smell. I don't know why these are a little bit stinky, but I do recommend them. I think they are amazing. Anyway, that is it for this video. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. And yeah, if you are not subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe before you go. But even if you don't, I just appreciate you being here and watching. And don't forget that you can follow us all over social media. It is at GlitterBeauties, the same way that is spelled right there. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.